Hey, this is TJ from New Mexico. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night, June 15th? So tonight I want to talk about, I saw a pretty cool thing this afternoon or a while back um, on this older couple that how they had very successful businesses when they're in their, 20s and 30s and all that. And then when they sold them, they ended up being in all this debt when they got to be 50 years old and they didn't have their businesses no more. And they were in $500,000 worth of debt almost, and then what they did to rebuild, they moved from the East Coast to the West, basically. And they started doing network marketing things. And they were a little bit of success, but then they got let down. And then a little success and they got let down. And then the husband, threatened to divorce the wife if she got into another one. So she actually secretly joined one and clandestinely began working a business again and got very successful at it. And then they didn't say, but I think the husband eventually joined because they did talk about being let down a couple more times by owners. So then when they were asked about their current business, and something that I'm in also, they researched it and they were really unsure and uneasy because after all the letdowns, but the person they got him in, they called the creator of the business, the CEO, somebody that they knew, and personally asked him why he was trying to start a business. And he says he didn't create the business for money. He created to change the industry so that the regular person could be successful in this. You didn't have to be a master builder or recruiter to make it in this new type of networking business. And it's like network marketing turned upside down, which he's always said. Now I got into this business too, and now I've been in it maybe it'll be like 2 years in September. But it's growing. We have over 1 million customers. Customers are free, and they keep adding new products and services. It's kind of like a Amazon platform for service industries, if you'd want to say that. But like this couple that they're being interviewed today are very down with it, and they see the vision. So I like to say that I've got the vision too. I can see it in the future. Nothing's overnight. There's a lot of hiccups because they're building something that's never been built before. Now, a lot of things, don't come to fruition right away. I don't know if anybody really have ever heard this, but did you know that Amazon, after 6 years, wasn't even breaking even until they got, an influx of money from Clowns in America. Now, if you don't believe me, go research that. And that turned them into a mega business because they had something that those clowns wanted. So they had a big infusion of cash into it. So I think most businesses, they take, a good 5 to 10 years to be even profitable. So you can't do everything overnight. A lot of people think I know network marketing and say get rich quick scheme. I mean, there are still a few scammers out there. I've been scammed. I lost a lot of money years ago, not thousands of dollars, but enough money that made me feel bad and want to not tell anybody about it, and made me not want to, lost my taste for it until 2018 when I got into something that was more education than business, that teaches business online. And it's a very good platform. It's been around for 12 years and it teaches how to create a business online. And I get my education from them and I use it towards my primary business. that I'm in with the same as this old couple I saw. So it can be, you can make a good living from these. You just gotta put some effort into it. I mean, it's called net work. There is work in it. They gave us some good stats. This couple did. Mrs. Sandy and Ed Cohen. I took some notes when I was listening to them, and Sandy had said she read last year that 40% of all the jobs that were lost last year are probably not going to come back. So that means 40% of unemployed people from last year don't have anything to do and are probably at a loss. So there is things online that you can be successful at and make a living, but just don't expect anything online to be overnight. I've been finding it over the past few years that you got to work harder for yourself than you do for a boss. And if you're an employee, you know that. The average employee, in an 8-hour day might work 6 hours during the day. When you throw in breaks and lunch and bathroom visits, people aren't working 8 hours a day. And you're just getting paid just to be there. So when you work for yourself, you don't get paid for sitting in front of your computer for 8 to 10 hours a day. You got to put out some content. You got to put out some value. You got to do things. You got to attract people to want to come and learn from you or check out your products, check out your services. And it's work. It's a lot of work. And then if you're doing that along with the 9-to-5 job, you got to really decide what you're going to sacrifice. What are you going to give up? Now, I've given up a lot of things, but the things I've given up are totally worthless anyway. Like watching TV. I used to come home from work, plop down in front of the boob tube and get programmed. They're not called television programs for nothing. And now the last few years, I'm more into learning new things, technical things, learning how to attract people, mindset, working on myself. You got to change yourself before you can change anything else. If you're going to sit around and wait for things to change on their own, you're going to be waiting for a long time. You have to do it yourself, and nobody else is going to do it for you. So you got to decide what do you want to spend your time focusing on. You want to focus on television, focus on video games, focus on, I just put in 8 hours at working at Mickey D's or whatever, and now I'm sit around and play video games and drink beer? Or are you going to focus on, I hate working at Mickey D's and I'm tired of drinking beer because I'm turning it into an alcoholic, so I need to change my mindset and change my attitudes and my habits and focus on something more positive that's going to propel me to where I want to go, because I don't think any of us are where we want to be. There might be some. I've known people that are in their dream job that they planned as a child, and they did the route, they did the college, they did the med school, they did the law school, they did this, they did that. And that's all good, because I did that too. I actually my goal was I was going to go career military. I was trying to get into law enforcement for military, for the Navy. So my plan was when I got the E5, I would convert to a military cop for the Navy and then do my 20 years. But I was cut short after 8. I was diagnosed with a chronic illness that basically put me out of the military, and I had to refocus and pivot and switch gears and move on to something else. I did attempt to get into law enforcement, but my disability was too great. So I had to pivot again. I went back to school. I became a paralegal, which I've done for 22 years, but now it's time to let that go and pivot again, because my disability has gotten to the point where I can't even do that, typing and all that stuff. and some other things that I don't like about it. So it's about time to let it go, try to retire because I've got over 20 years. I can retire and I'm disabled and focus on my online business career and learn new skills that can last me the rest of my life and support me and not harm me physically and emotionally like being an employee. So I think there's a lot of people that are out there who feel lost because their business closed or they lost their job in a business that might have been in a certain sector that was really hit by all this sci-fi that's going on. And I don't know if you want to look at online, but there is so many things besides network marketing or affiliate marketing, or there's a lot of traditional businesses that are hiring and people are working from home and doing customer service and remote work. You can do accounting, computer repair. You can pretty much do anything except maybe a physical exam. You can do law. You can do law online. I mean, I'm still working and I work in the law and we do that online. So there are things that you're not going to be able to do remotely. You can't be an electrician remotely and sit there and tell a customer on a Zoom call how to rewire his house because he's probably going to burn his house down. But you can make videos on little things like how to change your GFI plug, how to rewire a fan or replace your overhead lights with a light combo ceiling fan. You can do things like that through video and then create a channel where people can go on there and watch an expert do a job so they can do it themselves because it'll save them money and time. Well, I don't know about time, but it'll save them money than having to pay somebody to come out and do that. So there's tons of things that you can do online through the technology. Technology is both good and bad. It's good that I think we have access to so much knowledge. And the bad thing is, though, people rely on it too much and they want to implement it into every aspect of life, even wanting to wire us up to technology itself, which is kind of scary shit going on there, but not gonna go down that road. So I'm focused on my business just like the Cohens are. I really enjoyed listening to them today, and I'd like to meet them someday and find out how they escaped their hefty debt they had in their 50s, because I'm in my 50s and I can't imagine having that type of debt to pay off, being closer to 60 than not, and my work life getting shorter, my productive years, or at least for what I've been doing, they're getting shorter. So that's what I want to just talk about tonight. This is Tuesday TJ Talks. So if you like this, comment, send me some love. I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I'll try to get it on Facebook if they allow it, but know how they're getting. So, like I said, if you like it, drop me a line. Let's have a conversation. So y'all have a good night. This is TJ from New Mexico signing off from TJ Talks.